hey, just wanted to go over this real quick with you to make sure you understood what the campaign that we were going to do was going to entail, and what was going to happen and all that kind of thing. And I was going to throw in some extra advice as well for you, just in case you're wondering. And basically, what we're going to do here is we're going to go over two factors. The first factor is, of course, on-site optimization. Those are things you do to your own site. And then off-site optimization, things you can do off-site to help the ranking of your site. So on-site optimization starts with basically this: title tags. And there should be an MP3 that I've sent you. If I haven't sent you the MP3 of the speech I did, please remind me, as that speech is an invaluable asset to anyone looking to understand the big picture of SEO. Because a lot of people know little bits and pieces here and there, but as far as the big picture goes, being able to see the view from 30,000 feet, so to speak, is something that's rare, but it's something that a lot of people felt I captured in that speech. So if you'd like to hear that, please let me know. If I haven't sent it to you already, usually by default I send it to everyone. But if for some reason you don't have it, let me know, because I want you to have that so you can find out how it can help you. And also I throw in some conversion tips in there as well for converting your traffic, because conversion is the second half of the whole picture. So getting traffic is what we're going to talk about. So title tags. Title tags are the top of the list, literally, and the top of this list for importance, okay? Because that's the first thing search engines look at. Search engines go, you use a cursor just like I do here, and they start right here, and they start reading to the right. And let's say your keyword is title tags. Let's say that's your keyword. It reads it just like that. And sometimes people will have a space between the beginning of the field that they type their keyword in and the starting letter of the first word. So they'll be like this, okay? And there'll be the space right here, okay? Whenever you're typing your keyword into your heading bar or your heading field, make sure that this first letter is snug up against the left side of the field. Because if it's not, then the search engine's going to come by, it's going to go, oh, okay, I don't have to read this, and then it'll start reading from here, and then it'll just, not cool. So anyway, that's what's up with title tags. Your keyword has to be in your title tag, and it should be as far to the left as possible. So whatever keyword I give you, make sure you put it in the title tag of the article, of the content, or whatever it is we decide we're going to do. And then H1, H2, H3 tags are the headline tags that are inside your edit box. So if you're in WordPress, in the editor, which is basically the default WordPress editor, you'll see a drop down that contains the words heading 1, heading 2, and heading 3. These are different size texts, but they all must contain your keyword in some shape or form. Usually with this kind of thing, what I like to do is go like, if it was Irish dog collars, that was my keyword, I'd put like the first H1 tag is Irish dog collars, why are they in, or whatever. Just try and kind of get people's attention. And then the second one, the H2 tag, I go Irish dog collars, 5 questions about them, and then the last Irish dog collars, in the H3 would be, a summary or whatever, okay, of the article. Conclusion, blah, blah, blah. You get the picture. And then the next one is boldface. Boldface, you must have your keyword in boldface somewhere in your article or content. And I don't know exactly where that is every single time, but we usually put it up near the top. Okay, it's the safest place to put it. Now there is software that'll tell you exactly where to put it. That I'll tell you about if you do use WordPress, and if you haven't set up hosting or you haven't gotten anything yet, I highly recommend WordPress as your platform for whatever you're going to do. I don't care what it is. If it's a sales page, WordPress. If it's a blog, WordPress, everything, okay? And let's go to underline. Underline something else. You want another place in your article content that has your keyword in an underline status, okay? You want to italicize as well in the same type of way. Now, the location of these three here, the boldface, underline, and italicize, I kind of put at the top, not because they're important, but just because they're little extra things you can do to get a little more traction than the other guy. Because I'm telling you, sometimes it's just this little, tiny little thing, it's always something really small that you didn't notice or whatever you overlooked that comes back and it whoops you every time, and I try and find those little teeny tiny things that give my customers an edge over their competitors. And let's go to the internal link. You also want an internal link to another article or piece of content on your site that contains your keyword. Now, it doesn't have to contain your keyword if you don't want it to. You don't want to be too consistent with all these metrics because Google sees patterns and things and stuff, and Panda's going to go, all of these pages look exactly the same. They've got all of them having italicized, underline, boldface, H1, H2, H3, keyword density, blah, blah, blah. Everything looks, it's a clone. It's going to be too easy to spot. So you want to vary this stuff up a little bit. And like I said, there's software that helps you do that as well, that installs on your WordPress blog. It's a plugin. I'll tell you what it is as soon as this video is over. And then URL slug is also important. URL slug is that thing, it says HTTP mysite.com and then backslash, and then it could be, cool page, .html. This last part, cool page, this is your slug, your URL slug. And you want this to contain your keyword as well. Now, WordPress has to be set up in a certain way for it to address your pages like this. Okay, and I can show you how to do that. There might be some automation to it now. I heard that they did some revisions on it, so they just kind of puts it in there for you now. But things have to be set up before it's ready to do that. So you have to make sure your permalinks, that's what that's called, are set up correctly. And then keyword density needs to be below 1%. There were people that were cranking keywords in their content, stacking them, stuffing them in there, trying to get a higher rank. It doesn't work anymore. You can't do that anymore, so you're totally busted if you try and do that. Keep it below 1%. So if it's a 300-word article, 1% of 300, is like one time, right? It's like it's not a lot. So don't overdo it. And then keyword in the first sentence, keyword in the last sentence. Now, what I just told you was, 300 words, you can use it once. Well, Google doesn't like to see articles that are under 550, 600. Okay, so you can have two. First sentence, last sentence. Okay? As far as boldface, underline, italicize, those start to come into play when the article gets longer and is stretched out to 700 words and then 1,000 words. I personally recommend long, meaty articles. Google likes them a lot better. They rank higher, and they just do better overall. So keyword in the first sentence, keyword in the last sentence, keyword in blue link text. Remember the text, you hover over it, acts like a button when you hover over it. It like blinks. You want your keyword in there as well. And then there are other factors too, which we don't really have time to get into, but are very important. But these are these are the biggies, and these are the ones you want to pay the most attention to when you're when you're doing that. Let's talk a little bit about offsite optimization. So offsite optimization are things that you can do to your site on other sites. So you can backlink to your site from a site. There's all kinds of stuff you can do, but backlinking is the most common type of method or technique or tactic to helping build your ranks in the SERPs. So let's go down here. Let's look at backlinks. So backlinks, there are two types of backlinks. Okay. Now the first type, do follow links, do transfer their authority and rank. So if one of these sites links to you, like say C-SPAN decides to give you a do follow link, which they would never do, okay, because they don't know you, and if you just walked up to them and, hey, may I? No, so you wouldn't get that. Neither would Google, of course. I'm sure Matt Cutts has all kinds of secret backlinks to his sites. So transfer authority and rank is what we want to do here. So we want to transfer the authority of the sites that we link to our site, okay? And what this is going to do is going to give us a higher page rank in the SERPs, It's going to give our pages more respectability, better reputation, better overall link popularity, and is going to result in a higher ranking. Okay, so do follow, link, transfer, authority, and rank. They only constitute like 1.5% of the entire internet. Okay, that's a pretty low number. It's true. And then the no follow links constitute, you guessed it, 98.5% of the internet is basically links that don't really do anything for your site at all. They don't. I mean, Matt Cutts said that the no follow links, were not in the Google algorithm and all this other stuff, but maybe they're not in the algorithm, but maybe they are components of, byproducts of the algorithm or something, because they're not just out there for nothing. So do follow links, no follow links. Wiki sites are nice, charitable, info sites. Wiki sites, Wikipedia, things like that, people put their knowledge online so other people can learn more about a topic or category. It's a nice thing. It's a great way to, it's a great place to go if you're looking for information. Wikipedia is all over the place. All you have to do is type in the celebrity's name or somebody who's high profile, and automatically it'll pop on the first page. You'll be able to go in and find out how old they are, where they were born, who their friends were, if they played baseball, who knows. They're great sites for that type of thing, but there's no salesy junk in there. You don't see ads on wiki sites, flashy, hey, buy this. That's why Google likes them. So we link to wiki sites. Okay? Now, wiki sites can have very high page rank, and like I said, since they're not trying to sell anybody anything, they're pretty innocent, they're kind of the innocent bystander of the internet, and they have major authority. So that's why we link to wiki sites. We also link to Web 2.0 sites. Web 2.0 sites are like high-tech blogs. And I'm not going to get too much into what Web 2.0 is. It's basically high-tech blogs, high-tech platforms, anything and everything that uses the latest web technology is a Web 2.0. And we have a lot of those that we link to as well. All of the links that we have in our service are do follow links. So those links are the ones that we use. Now sometimes we use a few do no follows because we don't want it to look too uniform. We don't want it to look too predictable. We don't want Google to look at our links and go, this is somebody just throwing up links, right? They're just do follows, this is weird. So, we throw up some no follows in the mix just to kind of make things look natural. Forums, okay? We have high PR forums. What PR means is page rank, high page rank forums. Forums are places people go to share their knowledge and expertise on certain topics. So they're kind of like Wiki, but they're super duper high ranking. For some reason, Google really, really likes the technology in the forums in the forums code or whatever, and Google just likes forums. Period. And so they rank forums very high, especially ones that are active. We have a lot of forums that we link to, and they all are very active, very, very active, and very high ranking. Okay, of course, blogs are the Web 2.0 stuff we were talking about, but the blogs, we also have these things called indexers. Okay, and indexers are like, say for instance, you took a blog like WordPress, or you took a blog like Joomla or Drupal or something like that, and you totally tricked that thing out. Like, you put every possible mod on it it's like taking, a car, for instance, and just modifying it and making like just a sleeper, just a street car that looks really slow. Everybody thinks is just, oh, nice car. You know what I mean? But there's like a Ferrari engine underneath the hood, nobody knows. Indexers are blogs that are like that. They're sort of like sleepers. They're sort of like, a 950 horsepower blog, okay? But they look like a regular blog, and that's what's funny. at any rate, we maintain these blogs. They're like pristine, elite blogs. Contain, they make sure that they conform to all of Google Webmaster's rules. I mean, they're very meticulous about, how they do stuff. And so it fits right in with our mission statement, which is to do the same thing. Because, if you guys rank higher and your site gets put on the map and you get more customers, more business, I mean, you're just going to say good things about us. That doesn't hurt. Never hurts. Social bookmarking. Social bookmarking that's been big for a long time. Social bookmarking, it's good to look at social bookmarking sites like internet billboards, okay? Because that's basically what they are. If you see a billboard, it's like the thing next to the street. You drive in your car, you look to the right, or if you're in England, you look to the left. I could never drive. I would wreck my car in 2 days if I drove, I think, in the UK. But if I looked out my window and I saw a billboard, that would be the internet equivalent to a social bookmarking site, okay? It's a place where people get aggregate links and go just throw them up on, and headline, little blurb, here it is, check it out, okay? So social bookmarking is one of the last things that get done when you have a backlinking campaign, because we want to take all the links together and aggregate, and then we want to put them on a social bookmarking site. It's kind of like bundles of links, if you will. That's the best way I can describe it. Just take a bundle it together, put it on a social bookmarking site. Here you go. And then do another bundle, do the same thing, and just keep doing it, just like that. So take bulk. And the social bookmarking thing's huge, and Google loves social bookmarking. Social sharing sites. There's a lot of different social sharing sites out there. I'm not going to start naming names and all that stuff because I don't want to, one way or the other. I work with a couple, so I don't want to, But social sharing sites are the types of sites that you want to be on because it's, of course, social sharing. Facebook, I can say that. It's great. It's good for sharing stuff. It's not necessary. You don't have to go there, but it's good to have your stuff out there. Remember, you're trying to do natural backlinking. You're trying to look as natural as possible, and you don't want Google looking at your stuff and saying, whoa, Patternsville, what's going on over here, right? Okay, so social sharing are places where people share stuff, and most of it, and they're not trying to sell. Have you ever tried to sell anything on Facebook? You probably know what I'm talking about. It's not going to really work. Dropping links on Facebook, the whole link dropping thing is bad. I don't really do it. It's just not a good idea, and it doesn't really, make you look professional if you're doing that kind of thing. So it's the mark of an amateur. Let's go to the next one. PDF sharing sites. PDF sharing sites are PDFs rank high in the SERPs. We create PDFs and submit the PDFs of your article with your link in it to the PDF sharing sites. Pretty cool. So the PDF itself will actually rank in the SERP. So you'll see the PDF. It'll tell you in the search engines, this PDF belongs to so-and-so, or whatever, abccompany.com, or whatever. And it'll have an article about ABC Company, what ABC does, who they are, why you should listen to them, why you should trust them, all that stuff. And a link at the bottom to visit their site to find out more about who they are and what they can do for you. So PDF sharing sites are very useful because they have a tendency to float to the top. So we create PDF for you, and it has your article, the whole thing in it, links and everything. Several. Sometimes, depending on the size of the order that we get from you, it could be thousands of PDFs. So, but normally you don't want to do that, per day. You'd have to have a big site. It'd have to be some like C-SPAN or something huge to be able to handle that many links without being penalized. So let's go to the next one, RSS feeds and aggregators. Let's talk about RSS for a second. Now, really simple syndication is what that stands for. And basically what it is it's a type of service that allows a person to go to a site without actually having to go there. So you would basically drop down here, for instance, and I'd go to replace, or not in this application, of course, but you know what I mean? Like I'd go to file, drop down, and then about here would be the site I'd like to. This was all my information would already be like on my tab here. I'd be able to see what's going on without going there. So it's a real easy way for you to stay in touch with stuff. Now, there's things called RSS feeds and aggregators, like is mentioned down here. And what an aggregator does is it yanks up, remember the social bookmarking, the billboards? Same thing, except this is more of a feed. And a feed is just an assembly line of stuff that's put out. Once it's put out, it stays that way pretty much. It's just this long. If you've ever seen a plane hauling a banner in the sky, it's kind of like that. Think of it like, the feed just trails behind and it carries the message, so to speak. And RSS would be the plane to be pulling it. Search engines love RSS feeds, so we put the RSS feeds in there as well. All right, so I think we're bored to death, and we're probably ready to move on to the next step. So let's take a look at the chart here. Now, this is a complex chart, but I want to point out your site in this giant milieu of stuff. It's this site here. It's the money site. So the site in the middle, this is your site. And this is a major backlinking campaign. I don't know whether this is the one we're going to use for your site or not, but this is a big one. This is one of the bigger ones out there, and I'm going to describe it to you, and hopefully by the time I'm done here in the next, 8 minutes, you will understand. All right, so we're going to start with your site in the middle here. Now let's talk about the lines, okay? Because you're probably noticing, well, this is red and these are gray, and what's up? Okay. The reason why things are red is because there's constant communication between the modules that the red lines are connected to. There's constant communications between this indexer and this PDF sharing site. Constant communication between the pinger and the Web 2.0. Constant communication between this pinger and this forum profile here, okay? Not so much with this indexer and this toolbox here and the social network site that's below it, okay? So that's basically what that means. Constant communication between the wiki site and the social bookmarking site. Okay, constant communication here. More constant communication. Constant. What I mean by constant is every 24 hours. Okay? Just so you know what that means. Every once in a while, the gray lines, okay? That's sort of a manual process. We have to submit and all that stuff. All this other stuff is kind of timed every day to check. And the social bookmarking billboard here reaches down, pulls stuff off the social network, and puts it up on the billboard. This billboard here waits a day, calls up wiki, says what's new, throws it back up on the billboard. That's what the red line's for. Okay? Does that every 24 hours. This up here is a pinger, and what a pinger does is it pings this site. We're going to create new content on the Web 2.0 profile, and then we're going to ping it every 24 hours. So if we put up some stuff up on today, we're going to send a ping. And what a ping is it's sort of a bell. When you ring the bell, the dinner bell, so to speak. Okay, Google's that big, stupid, slobbery dog, right? That's coming to that's hungry, and so you have to pick up the bell and ring the bell, and Google comes over, and slobbers all over your shoes and says, "What do you got for me?" Okay, I got new content. Check it out. Okay, and so the Google dog will look at this. It'll look at this. It'll look at the wiki site over here too, because there's action here, action all over the place over here. It'll look at all the sites where where there's a lot of action, especially the sites where the pingers are. Okay, this Web 2.0 and these forum profiles are pinged. See how we've just done the 2.0s and the forum profiles. That's something that's a little secret that we have. Not so much anymore though, because you're watching this, but. There's some other stuff that we've got that's secret that you'd need to really make the most out of that. But that's kind of something we do that seems to really work. Now let's go into let's just go over each component so you understand. Now I know we talked about the indexer. Remember, Elite Ferrari blog here we've got. Okay, what this does every day, not every day, but once every, because there's not a red link here. But every day it will reach through this thing called the toolbox, and we'll just look at this as a wash basin. Okay, it reaches through the wash basin to clean its hands when it reaches down into the social network, pulls this back up on it, puts the content up on itself, and there you have it. Okay, the reason the toolbox is here is to make link posting cleaner and faster, okay, and more efficient. All right, it can change its IP address. It can make things look very natural and random. They're very, very powerful, and that's what we use with some of the stuff, just to give it that sense of randomness. Okay, so the indexer will reach through here in its anonymity, anonymity, I think. Is that how you say it? And then the indexer reaches through, grabs the links in the social network, pulls it up, puts it on there. Same thing here with the pinger, except remember, it's a pinger, so it's just shooting this site and reminding Google, ringing the dinner bell. So the dinner bell's the pingers, okay? Remember the slobbery Google dog that comes running across the field, tripping over its fat gut and doing somersaults across the meadow? That's basically what the pinger's for, is to just say to Google, hey, come get it. Dinner's ready. New content on this forum, new content on this blog, whatever. All right, so, and you'll also notice that we've got an indexer over here hitting this PDF sharing site every 24 hours. So when a PDF is created by our company with your link and done right and all that stuff, this indexer is going to reach down, grab that PDF, and put it on itself. Okay? So that's pretty cool. So you're going to have a PDF on the some of these elite blogs that are just modified out. They're very, very high ranking. They're some of the highest ranking blogs in the world. And I can send, and of course you're going to get, in your report, you're going to get links to all these places. You're going to find out where they all are. It's not that much of a secret. But it is. I mean, it is, but it's not. Anyway, let's go down to this part over here. Now, you'll notice that this is a duplicate, almost a duplicate of what's here. The only difference between this over here and this over here is this wiki site. That's it. Everything else is identical. So the indexer's reaching through this wash basin, grabbing the wiki content, throwing it back up on itself. So is this, but this is a social network. Okay? That's the only difference. And then back here, we've got a pinger, forum profile, Web 2.0. Notice how on our tier 2 links on the outer side of this is where we've got all our forums and 2.0s. Okay? Just a little SEO advice for you. Tier 2, that's where you want them. All right. Tier 1, let's go into Tier 1. Tier 1 is before, if I were to draw a square, I'd go across the bottom, up, and then across here. It's the inner part of this diagram. So, you've got your Web 2.0, your forum profiles reaching through your toolbox, grabbing off the wiki site, and so on and so forth. You can kind of see how this all kind of comes together. You've got article directories that reach through the toolbox to grab content and throw it back on itself. Indexers, all this stuff is working in conjunction to help your site rank higher. And this doesn't happen all in one day now. What we'll do is we'll set up all these sites to receive your article and content across a series of 30, 60, 90 days. We offer 30-day packages. Of course, you can try us out for a month. We also offer 90-day packages, which are quarterly, of course, semi-annual and annual packages. And of course, the more you buy, the better you do. But this is an ongoing process. People ask me, once I get to the first slot of Google, are you gonna, am I gonna go away? It's like, if you're not continuing to build up your links, the answer is yes, you are going to go away, because there's always going to be competition that's trying to take your spot. I mean, that's just the way it works. So, I mean, that's basically it. Once you get to where you're going, you have to maintain, okay? It's an ongoing process. Sometimes people see internet marketers and some of the ones that do really well for themselves, they just think, oh man, that guy just must sit around all day, and I'm, let me tell you, some of them do, but the good ones, the really good ones, stay busy and are constantly improving their methods, constantly revamping stuff to make it better, to make things faster, to make sure you get better service, and that's something that our company does. We are constantly, revamping our methods. Like recently, our YouTube video algorithm that we were using for backlinking wasn't doing as well, so we decided to take that option off, or at least tell our customers, hey, no more videos for a while. because that's not working. I mean, that's how close we have our eye on the ball for you. So we just want to know, what you need from us, and that's essentially it. But this is just an overview of the whole process and what's involved. And this is the off-site stuff that we'll be doing for you. And of course, some of this is fill in the blanks. Of course, WordPress site. We could put your own WordPress sites in here if you do already have a gang of them together. We could put them in there. We already have article directories established for you. We already have PDF accounts established for you. We create all the accounts at all of these different places for you, so you don't have to do anything. Okay, that's all part of the deal. And there's thousands of accounts. I mean, we have to do a lot of work. This is not easy work. It's like, hey, we're just going to push a button. No. We have to do this. And it's it is work. I mean, there's a lot of componentry to it. There's a lot of keeping your eye on the ball. Sometimes, we have to double check stuff, triple, quadruple check our stuff to make sure it works. So, and we're constantly, like I said, improving. Things are changing with Google. We're constantly trying to conform to the contours of their changes and follow them and follow their rules, because following the rules is what's going to get you to rank high. It's not gaming the system. Anybody who tries to game the system you're going to get penalized. And it's funny they chose a panda as the symbol for the new algorithm, because pandas are they're pretty cool. They're cool bears, but you don't want to ever tick off a panda. I don't know if you knew that, but that's true. They're vicious animals, like when they get mad. And that's really kind of funny, because that's what Panda, the algorithm, will do to your site. It will tear it to pieces if you don't be careful. But it's not as hard as people think. Just follow the rules, and the rules are pretty cut and dry. So anyway, this is Stu Johnson. I don't want to keep you very much longer. Just wanted you to have a good overview of how this whole thing works. So when we do start campaigning, you're not like kind of wondering what we're doing. You know exactly what we're doing, which is going to help you feel comfortable. It's going to make me feel comfortable. And it's going to make it easier for us to work together. So thanks a lot, and take care. If you have any questions, hit me up. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.